If you're distressed by the content of this Toolbox Talk, please call any of these organisations. Studies suggest around 45% of Australians will experience mental illness at some point in their lives, with 1 in 5 experiencing it every year. Mental health and mental illness are still a taboo topic in some industries, especially in male-dominated ones. Transport is a male-dominated industry, with about 97% of truck drivers being men, and this makes workers in road transport and logistics less likely to access mental health and wellbeing services and resources. Meaningful conversations can be difficult, which is why we tend to avoid them, and yet they're important to create a real connection. Asking a simple question and starting a conversation with somebody you know can have an immensely positive impact on their day and potentially on their lives. Your driving colleagues from around the country have a unique perspective, insight, and some wonderful practical tips. Let's hear what some of them have to say.
So the way I would ask if someone was okay is just ask them, are you okay?
Yeah, you just sort of know if they're very quiet. Yeah, something's up there. All right, I'll catch him later on. I'll get him by himself, and then we'll just say, "You all right, mate? Want a cup of coffee? Let's have a cup of coffee. Come on." I'm not going, no. I said, no, I'm pulling in for a cup of coffee. Let's go. I'm waiting for you. Even if he's half an hour behind me, I'll back right off. Wait till he gets a nice, I'll see you at the BP. Exactly that.
I think you see it in some people's physical sort of, like if you see them day to day, and you see people, their heads will be down, shoulders will be down, or looking tired, and not concentrating and all that. So, that's something I would sort of look at, and obviously if I'm talking to you daily, and you can sound differently, and so.
And have you had any of those conversations that you think have really meant a lot to you personally, or to the person that you start a conversation with?
I've actually very much so as to a stage where I thought this fellow really needs help. So I ring my superior, and they go further and they check him out, and they just say to him, "Are you all right?" And I'll go out with him after we finish work. I go, "Come on, mate, let's go for it. Go and have a beer. Something if you want to wind down. Let's loosen up." And then they tell me everything, and then hopefully I done my little bit to help him. And if he's got a big smile on his face after that meeting, he goes, "Cuz, I feel better now, mate." So that's all I've got to say. That's it.
If you notice some changes in what somebody you know says or does, it might be a good moment to ask if they're okay. Signs like irritability, constant mood swings, or going through a major life-changing event can indicate that it's time to ask. Taking the first step to ask somebody isn't easy, but a conversation could change a life. The 4 steps to remember are to ask, listen, encourage action, and to check in. Acknowledge that it may be difficult for the other person to talk about certain topics, situations, or feelings. So listen actively without judgment and encourage taking action. Ask about strategies used to manage similar events in the past, or even share some relatable personal experience with empathy. Also know that there are resources that you can look up. Take the time to check the tips suggested by Are You OK? They're simple, easy to follow, and they can make all the difference. What are the signs that would lead you to ask, "Are you okay?"
I think the signs would be if anything changes from that colleague. And what I mean by that is that if our relationship is one way, as far as, happy, always laughing whenever we see each other, having a joke, and it's just different at that time, or something is strange, I'd be asking that question.
To me, if you touch base with everyone, you know how everyone is. And then you can sort of see, he's a little bit down for some reason. I mean, you don't want to indulge into their private lives because obviously people feel a little bit invasive into their private life. You don't want to do that. I mean, there's a real fine line where you tread.
It's maybe their change in mood. You spend time with them, you get to know them, you get to know their personality, I guess. So definitely, we're always saying g'day and thumbs up to each other. So you pick up on it. Yeah, pick up on their personality or their grumpiness, or it might be something up.
At first, if someone's a bit angry and upset, you can tell by the tone of their voice, by really aggressive and loud. But then as you talk and sort of, have a bit of a conversation, then that aggressiveness sort of eases off and the loudness sort of drops down a bit. So I think there's a sense of calm there once you start talking and that person opens up to you. Like, I mean, even ask questions, what's the weekend for? What are your interests? Cars, football, whatever the case may be. Always little things like that helps that person open up a little bit more.
Just maybe say, did you want to get a coffee or have a break together? We normally see each other on our breaks. Try and maybe touch base with them on the phone a bit when you get a chance, or ask one of their sort of closer contacts, perhaps if they had noticed something, or
It's more about caring for our people, listening to them, than it is of actually from a operational sort point of view, because right now there's so many people out there that are having some issues.
As an organisation, what can you do to help? Make resources available and visible, for instance, print posters, or create awareness on screen or online. Host an event and invite an ambassador. Dedicating a specific time to learning about the importance of supporting each other with simple yet powerful conversations shows all organisation members that mental wellbeing is part of the company's safety culture. Be intentional in creating a work culture where staff feel safe, supported, and encouraged to ask, "Are you okay?" Create different roles within training programs such as chaplain or peer support officer that staff members can take to receive specialised training support for the wellbeing of other colleagues. This will build your staff's skills to have courageous conversations. Consider arranging training for your staff. There are specialised organisations that could support this. As part of the community, your company and staff can make a difference. Simple questions can lead to powerful conversations and connections. The contents of this Toolbox talk may be distressing for some people. If you have need of support, please call Lifeline on 131 114, Beyond Blue on 1300 224 636, 1800 RESPECT on 1800 737 732, Men's Line Australia on 1300 789 978, or 1300 Driver on 1300 374 837.